Hi there, gallery members and new viewers alike. Thanks for tuning in for this latest edition of Gridiron Gallery. If you haven't seen my channel before up until this point with new videos, recommend you like this one and subscribe for more. We got plenty of content on all your favorite football leagues. And for those gallery members out there, thank you as always for tuning in. Really can't appreciate you enough. Now, on to the show. Welcoming everybody into the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo show, the bi-weekly NFL edition of the Gridiron Gallery podcast. Zach Keilman in alongside Tony Stenulson and Michael Grimbo, Grimberg, good friends and co-hosts of the show. As always, the regular crew is back in once more. And, well, midway through the season, boys, how are we doing? Plenty to discuss.
Oh, we're doing fine over here in my fandom. This is the weekly reminder that we are one Chris Godwin push off away from being 6-0.
You are you pinching yourself though that you're 5-1 though?
Yeah, it's surreal because I have no idea how we got to this point, but hey, I'm just living the ride, man. It's fine.
You're living the ride. All right.
Going along for the ride, living the dream. I don't know, both of them.
Look, all I take it as is you mashed them together because you didn't expect it.
Exactly.
You and being the pessimist that all three of us are at times, you're getting the best of the entire package.
Definitely.
Good for you. Michael, you know what? I gotta say the same in terms of good times, because fortunes are favoring yourself right now. Atlanta's looking okay.
Yeah, they're playing some teams, but you still got to get those wins too. But stacking them 1-0 every week, right? That mentality. But
bit by bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Game winners, Young Ho Koo going at it. I love it. I'm always grateful for the kickers because you can never discredit them from what they do. So, yeah, the opponents haven't been the greatest, but we haven't been the absolute greatest either. So we're just kind of taking it week by week. But it's kind of interesting to actually hear playoffs like we're in the playoff bubble. Like that doesn't seem real. Like I'm pinching myself. That doesn't sound right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like
playoffs.
Playoffs.
Atlanta getting a potential playoff seed on the line right now.
Doesn't sound right, but we'll see what happens. We got Carolina this Sunday. We'll see if we'll get that dub too. So we'll
sputtering roster. I foresee a win in your future, my friend.
I sure hope so.
I'm looking at it, man.
I'm really liking what Kyle Pitts is doing. He had a breakout game.
Mm-hmm. All my positivity goes to you two, because I obviously have gotten back to the usual time in my year where it to me feels all downhill from where we're at this point in the season. So maybe something comes along, but I throw it both your ways because I'd rather see you guys have success right now, and I also want my coach fired. So I'm kind of just waiting for the inevitable at this point. So, is what it is.
Coach is fired, man. I don't think McCarthy's going anywhere after this year.
No, he's not. Unless you have a collapse.
Unless there's a monumental collapse where we end up going like 8-1. Yeah.
You could. I don't know.
I hope not, because I hope we're not like, last year's Steelers. That's for sure.
Oh God. Hell no for that. Well, you just got to make sure Dak stays fully healthy. When you got Jerry talking that he's going to play, I'm like, okay, I know Jerry's down there all the time, but like Jerry's kind of the hype man here. When you got these player injuries, like let's slow our roll. Let's see what the doctors say, Jerry. Stay back for a minute, bud.
Well, that's the same thing as Dak wanting to play. It's the same thing as Baker wanting to play right now.
Oh my God.
It's just one of those things where I don't know. In Baker's situation, I wouldn't. I take that extra week, get a little bit healthy, see how you're feeling for the Bengals game. I mean, Dak is one thing. I mean, I personally see as we need to beat Minnesota. So I'd love to have him out there. I feel like his calf strain isn't that serious if he was doing a full go, or was he limited at practices yesterday? So
yeah,
I believe
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's been at least at practice and kind of showing signs. That's all fine and dandy. Yeah, but like I think at this point, we talked off here that this last 2 weeks, Baker Mayfield. The question is how tough do you have to be in the NFL, or how much do you have to realize when maybe it's best just to sit? I think a torn labrum, non-throwing shoulder, mind you, but a torn labrum screams, dude, go sit on the bed, go home and sit on the couch, get yourself maybe, a few snacks, and we're just going to chillax a bit. You're going to be back in, we know you don't need to prove to us that you're a hardworking player anymore. We've known that.
Yeah.
But
not to mention he fractured his shoulder too now. So he took a sack 2 weeks ago. So I don't know why. I mean, I get wanting to be tough and play through it, but there's a certain point, there's a difference between hurt and injured.
Yeah.
And my guy, you're injured. What's your team? Nick Chubb's coming back this week, expected to play. You got Case Keenum. I think you'll be fine up against Pittsburgh. Rather have a healthy Case Keenum than a hurt Baker Mayfield.
Definitely. Well, and for Baker, like those injuries were exemplified because he stayed in. I mean, it was just a partially torn labrum at one point. Let's keep that in mind. He kept himself in out of just being, trying to grind through the pain. That's where it got you, and that was diagnosed early. I imagine team doctors probably said like, hey, maybe you should consider like, chilling out a little bit. You're kind of an aggressive quarterback. You kind of look for contact and, fight for yards more. When you go in scrambles and things like that. Like that could have been avoided, but here we are, and that just adds on to the litany of injuries the Browns have. If we wanted to have a Browns episode, I mean, you could just talk about that whole sheet of like, I think it was last week, like 15 players that were supposedly either on the injury report or expected not to play.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Let's say they were, I believe, only second in most people on the injured list behind the Tennessee Titans.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's possible. I know.
That's according to Colin Cowherd. So maybe.
I mean, some of the other ones I would think like New Orleans has had at least key members. Like Traquan Smith came in last week. Michael Thomas, although who knows if he's actually going to play because they still aren't buddy right now anymore. So who knows about that? And that was another one. And then of course San Francisco, following up with that usual tradition minus 2019.
Yeah.
So usual routes, typical injury type of stuff going on. Or Philadelphia, you can throw on it too.
Yeah. And in terms of Michael Thomas, at what point, if they're not happy, do you then just try to get a trade for him? I mean, the dude doesn't drop passes when they're thrown to him. So I think healthy Michael Thomas would help out any team. Yeah.
Well, talking about Michael Thomas, although, hey, Michael, if you're playing receiver, let us know. And where are you going? Maybe the hat means you two are playing. Like, was I supposed to wear a hat today? If you guys are watching on YouTube, I obviously screwed up, and I need to. You know what, Tony, you and Michael carry this combo second. I'm gonna go grab. Oh no, I'm gonna go grab the one piece of like Bears memorabilia that maybe you'll make me remind myself of Matt Nagy. I have a Bears visor. I'm going to go throw on in a second. Give me a moment.
Bears visor.
Yeah, hang on.
Channeling the inner Chucky Gruden. All right,
I'm serious.
I love it.
Oh man.
Guy obviously didn't get the hat memo, but back forwards, full hat, visor, you get the gist.
Yeah. There's a lot of injuries going on. There it is. There's the visor. Oh boy. Oh, what's he bringing out? Oh, that's his headphones. I was like, what's he bringing out now?
Well, I gotta be able to hear you guys.
Well, I didn't know that was your headset. I thought you were bringing something else out, like a coach whistle or some shit like that.
Hey, you call him play.
Kind of look like if Kirby Smart was hired on by Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
Just take off the glasses, and then you shave the face a little bit. You know.
So this might be one of the first times I've ever seen you without glasses on. At least in recent
Am I
memory.
scaring you a little bit?
No, it's just that I forgot what you looked like without glasses.
Well, yeah. There's not many any athletic events I have to take these off for anymore.
You know, that's a shame. You know what?
Although it's not like I don't miss football. I actually do miss playing it. So, you know, I still wish. I dream.
Part of me misses it. Part of me doesn't, because of the fact that like my knee still acts up on different days.
Well, okay, yeah. If we're being fair, your experience with the game is definitely different than how I experienced it in terms of, you know.
Yeah, you didn't have a 400-pound you land on the back of your knee and tear your MCL your third to last game of your senior season.
Yeah, you know,
you
hospital visits are involved as well.
Oh, man.
No thanks.
Is this how I got old? Is this old?
Is that how you get old?
Is this old age?
It's
just called life.
Ugh.
I think it's life.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
I don't like it either. I don't like that I look old. I don't like that I look older than both of you. You think that you think that feels like a good thing?
You what?
Don't tell me with this hat I don't look like I'm 35 or like pushing 40.
No, you look like you're 26, 27.
Oh, don't give me that crap. You are so disguising that right now.
You're ready to call defensive plays, that's for sure.
Yes, I am.
You're ready to, bullets, double bullets.
I'm ready to not be a racist. That is what is going on here. And I'm also being a better coach of the Bears at the same time.
Ah, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of you.
You know, good human being, good play caller. Two things that we need in this world.
Agreed.
Okay, so the Michael Thomas talk, that kind of brings me into what we're doing here. I kind of wonder if he does get traded and, where he will willingly want to play. I mean, I got one place, but I'm going to hate it a lot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, if he's healthy and if he goes to the hated rival, that is the team that goes against my team on this hat, that would disappoint me. And I could see it happening because another one of my trades I want to see also is with Green Bay, and that's for Brandin Cooks. And I think that's more realistic too. But, go there.
He's a cheaper option too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brandin Cooks only has like less than $2 million on his contract. And he's not the greatest, but in that offense, I feel like he would complement Adams very well.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. I mean, that would suck for you to watch that, but I mean, realistically, you know what I'm saying? But
oh yeah,
I don't think Michael Thomas is going to go anywhere, but I could see Cooks going to Green Bay for sure. I mean, if they're going to go all in the last hurrah with Aaron Rodgers, you might as well make the best of it,
This would be a unique twist I just thought of here. What if I don't think Thomas gets dropped either, but say you do move him. What if you then go and turn around, you do what you did with Mark Ingram and you bring back Brandin Cooks to New Orleans and they just come as a package. They'll go, hey, I'm back in town. although it's kind of ironic since he left town also winning a contract and was not on good terms. He got traded for kind of those reasons too. So,
right.
But I'd do it. I don't know.
Like, where's Drew at?
Yeah. I also feel bad for Brandin Cooks. Like, can you just like stay on a team and be
for real
alone? Like, guy's talented. Let's stop handing him around like he's I don't know, like a freaking used towel in a restroom or something like that.
For real. I mean, the guy was a former first-round pick, for gosh sakes. Like, I mean, he had a good stint in New England. Like, I don't know. Poor guy just hasn't found a home.
Makes me wonder what his locker room and how he is off the field, how he is in that locker room, to the point where, yeah, you're a good player, but at what point do we value the good player over, a good locker room guy.
That is true.
So it's hard to tell because he is very quiet on the field. He's quiet off the field. Really, he doesn't really make much noise outside of it. So it's hard to tell. Zach, you're gonna hate this, but
okay.
One of the trades I could see happening. Well, Allen Robinson's leaving. They're shipping him off.
I think that they should get moving on that. Really.
You want to know my top 3 teams for him?
Yeah, go right ahead. I want to hear these.
Baltimore.
Okay.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
Green Bay.
They won't trade him to Green Bay, so that one's a fantasy option.
You never know.
Dude, if I ever see Chicago trade Green Bay, I've given up. That means somebody there obviously doesn't realize what the traditions are at stake.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. I mean, but would you rather have? Let's see. Here's the question: would you rather have Brandin Cooks, Allen Robinson, or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Like on my team, or just in general?
On your team. Let's assume Allen Robinson's gone. You're getting shipped.
Well, if I'm thinking just like the way this is together, I think I'd rather have Odell because like Darnell Mooney is already a speedster, and that's what Brandin Cooks is supposed to be for the most part. So I'd rather replace Allen Robinson's utility as a multi-route threat with someone that, in theory, is also a multi-route threat. Except the problem with Odell is that, you know, as he's gotten on in years in the NFL, it seems like injury issues he keeps plaguing himself with as the seasons have gone on. You know, I actually I've some people I've talked with have had the question I agree with is like, is he really a star anymore?
No,
because I don't think he is.
No,
at least I don't think he's this level that everyone advertises him as.
No, he's not. And I will argue to that point until the day I die, because there are a couple people in Cleveland, especially, who are like, "Oh, Odell is the number 1 wide receiver. You know, he's one of the top 5." And I was like, I've watched the dude play since he entered the league. Best thing he can do is make impossible one-handed catches or difficult catches. But when a ball is thrown right to him, he struggles catching it. In the last game alone, I think he caught like 1 wide open catch out of like the 5 he had thrown to him. I don't see him as a star. I never really saw him as a star. I think in the Giants system, he was the one, because there was really nobody behind him, or nobody would really get the chances because of who he was. I think, and this kind of is a caveat to it, I think Odell should be shipped out of Cleveland. I don't think that he is a good enough player to complement what they're trying to do in Cleveland. When he was out last year, you could see the steps forward that Baker took, and when he's been back this year with Baker, you've seen the steps that have been taken back. Jarvis Landry is the true number 1 in Cleveland. I'll fight that with any Clevelander. They can argue it up and down all they want. And then I would say Beckham is at best a 2, maybe closer to 3, depending on if Rashard Higgins or even Schwartz get an actual good look. So,
well, Peoples-Jones is healthy. I mean, talk about someone stepping up.
Yeah,
I think Odell too, for sure. I think he just hasn't found the right fit yet. You know, it's kind of like Brandin Cooks. You know, he just hasn't found the right stint to be in. I don't know. I mean, there was all that talk of him going to New England.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he would be great with Mac Jones. Honestly, give him another weapon.
Oh my God! I mean,
someone who, you know, like, I mean, I just thought of that just from you guys talking about
how developed Mac Jones has looked so far, and you can credit that to either to Josh McDaniels and Belichick scheming it well, you know, just giving him comfortable routes, or the fact that he is that mature out of college already, which I think it's a mix of both. They don't really, I mean, they have some all right mid-range players. Kendrick Bourne's ain't a slouch, but I'm not gonna give him a number 1 status off the bat. N'Keal Harry, they're talking about as a trade option since this off season.
Yeah.
So like that'd be an instant upgrade. Like Odell could be a number 1 there just from the lack of talent, as long as he stays healthy. Again, that's the big caveat now is health is key for him.
For Jacoby.
Ooh, well, Jacoby Myers, I'll give you credit. I maybe have underrated him there, but I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't scream that. And I think also New England it's a run first team for the most part, with checkdowns is kind of to supplement it. As Mac gets better with kind of his downrange passing, something he's been shaky on, although has shown some signs of improvement in recent weeks. So that's good. But
yeah. And New England likes to run real tricky plays too, like with Myers, and Odell can throw the ball. So why not put someone in there that can actually do plays like that and give them another wrinkle in that offense? I mean, not that it's going to be a perfect place for Odell, but you have promising coaching. You got a young quarterback who would thrive with that type of player. And I mean, why not? Like, I don't know. A different, maybe it kickstarts Odell's career again, like it was back in 2013, 14. Those
definitely
good years.
If he wants to get back to the level he was once at, that might be his best play. Like I said, health for him has just been a big concern. Like, he just can't stay on the field either, too. And
that offense in Cleveland, it's just, there's so much in that offense, and he's just there.
Right. I mean, he's kind of almost. I mean, the fact that it seems like he has not really been he's never had the best chemistry with Baker Mayfield that I can tell. And Jarvis Landry really is that number one option out there. They've been looking for a number two that can stay on the field consistently. Odell was supposed to be at number one, that turned into a number two, that turned into maybe he's a number two. I don't know. Like, he got 1,000 yards one of these seasons in Cleveland, but that's not what I was expecting. Like, 1,200, like 9 to 10 touchdowns, Pro Bowl level, all pro level, what he used to be.
Right.
Hasn't been there. So needs a, I think, change of scenery, like you guys are saying. That feels pretty good. And Allen Robinson, I think the Bears just need to do it for trade value, but like, he's ready for a contract. So like, start getting him ready to go to a place that he can show that he's worth it with a competent offensive scheme. By the way, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, dude's cashing in on a franchise tag, and offensively they were in transition this year. I'm going to give it credit. Like, I ain't going to bash him for lack of production, being honest there.
Yeah. And there was off-season talk with Allen Robinson too, not being happy about being there. So, I mean, you'd be surprised how many Bears fans, and as well as Chicago media personnel, that over the course of the 2 years the Bears have failed to extend him this year because of the fact that he got the franchise tag and is looking like he's phoned it in. Now they're all against him, saying, see, he didn't deserve it all along. And that to me, I'm like, you know what? I wish him the best. That is a bullcrap excuse if you're gonna play it that way. Agreed.
Same people championing it all of a sudden are saying, nah, he wasn't it all along. That was so, it's terrible.
Yeah, get him somewhere he's going to be appreciated, if that's going to be the case, man. Like, that's just, I hate to say it, but a lot of Bears fans are finicky, man. Like,
no, they are.
If you haven't, it's not what have you done for me or what can you do for me. It's what have you done for me recently, and it's, it's a tough business, especially Philly and Chicago. Philly, Chicago, and Cleveland are probably three of the hardest places to play because of the fact that the fans are so passionate and are so, critical of certain things that go on. So it's, I feel for him, but at this point, if the majority of the fans and the people out there in Chicago are saying that, get him out of there. Mm-hmm. Get him somewhere where he's respected, where he's welcomed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baltimore would be great. Indianapolis alone, just because freaking Paris Campbell has not lived up to the hype either, and they're like fringe could use some boost besides Michael Pittman. Pittman's evolving into a legit star. You need a number two on that opposite side, so you're not just getting him flanked all the time.
And it's not Ty. Ty can't stay healthy.
Well, Ty is also on the back end of his career. He's not. I mean, he was lucky to get a 1-year deal this season with the Colts. That was out of respect.
Fitzgerald of Indianapolis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like not New England. Indianapolis was all in trying to go make a run, with trying to get Carson Wentz if he could stay healthy. But obviously we've seen how that went. But I don't know. That would be a nice pickup for Indianapolis. I don't know if Chris Ballard's willing to part way with picks, because that's just the way he is. He just loves his picks. He loves all of them, and the guy knows how to draft. So
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I gotta wait for Chris Ballard to get more picks.
Why is that?
Trade Marlon Mack.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't think as high as a pick for him though.
Well, here's something else I found fascinating is so they were talking on Marlon Mack, and the Colts being on a mutual interest of maybe trying to get a trade. But in recent weeks, Mack has kind of become the number 2. So do you trade someone who is a previous 1,000-yard rusher behind Jonathan Taylor, who's a great insurance policy and can catch, by the way?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you do now. Maybe you get some value, but it'd have to be a good deal. Otherwise, I might keep him. And he's really cheap. He was 1 year, $1 million this year. Really small contract for a running back.
I think they should keep him. I don't think the value for him is that high right now. And I mean, you might be able to get I'd say maybe a 5th rounder at best, but I mean, what if Jonathan Taylor goes down? Then what are you going to rely on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen what happened with Cleveland, Nick Chubb going down and Hunt going down, and they've
Ernest Johnson, baby.
AAF.
Contributing. You can never have enough running backs. He's cheap. I would just keep him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a solid guy. I mean, Zach, you already touched on him, but
absolutely,
you can never have enough running backs. And if they kind of fall off that cliff of what their potential is, then you get rid of them or let them go. But I mean, I don't get very much value out of him draft wise, but he's just cheap. I would just keep him.
Yeah. I mean, he can go somewhere and I think he can go somewhere and be a starter right now.
Absolutely.
Again,
any team in the NFC is not named the Cowboys would love to have him.
Absolutely. Marlon Mack could go and be a starter right now if you wanted to.
I wouldn't mind Atlanta, honestly. I'm just throwing that out there because we don't have a set running back room starter. It's
Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, what you're doing with Cordell Patterson is what the answer is, though. I
mean, Patterson, I like him more at wide receiver, honestly, but the guy can just flat out run. But Mike Davis is just he's not cutting it. No, and no. I hope they get rid of him next year. But I would like Marlon Mack in there. I mean, the guy's gritty, but I don't think we're gonna trade anything for him. But
bring back Todd Gurley, my guy. Why bring back Todd?
Oh my gosh! No, we just need to draft a running back.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, unless you can get cheap, real cheap, but it's not worth it. I mean, you can just draft a running back who's young and healthy primarily, and I don't know. Yeah. That'd be nice. Don't really draft good running backs, so we'll see.
Okay, maybe. Michael. I got one that I want to know the status of. So to me, Hayden Hurst is kind of not really a useful weapon at this point in Atlanta. So that's a guy that can go start somewhere with the right team. Mm-hmm. You think he gets sold by the trade deadline, or he going to mingle around for another season? Do you think?
No, I think they might get rid of him. I mean, he hasn't really done anything remarkable for us this year. I mean, obviously Kyle Pitts is kind of taken off. So, I mean, you spend that high of a draft pick on him, you might as well use him. I mean,
oh yeah.
So not to say that Hayden Hurst is bad or anything. He's good. People forget he's a first rounder as well. And it's weird. He gets overshadowed by rookie, tight ends, when he was in Baltimore with Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews is killed, and then they get rid of him to us, and then now we get Kyle Pitts, and then we're like, well, we don't really need you anymore.
A year after you just paid Hayden a nice sum to come to Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah. And Hayden Hurst he's good in both aspects of his game, of blocking and catching the ball. Like he's a good red zone target, which if I were to see him go anywhere, I would like to see him go to a team like Buffalo. That would be nice pick. I mean, give Josh Allen another weapon, someone reliable. I mean, I would like to see him go there. I mean, if he's going to thrive anywhere, I mean, not that high-end room is like great or anything, but I mean,
at least while Dawson Knox is down, because they have really nothing behind him at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
And he's healthy. He's a gritty guy. Like I mean, maybe that's another guy that's just trying to find his spot. Like, I mean, he's just getting overshadowed by just better talent, but I mean, maybe Buffalo will be a good area for him. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
I'd support it.
I just support a good fan base like Buffalo. So,
That's right.
God, I love that fan base. You can't hate that fan base, man. Like,
it's impossible.
They're just such a feel good story. Like, how do you hate that fan base?
Mm-hmm. It's impossible.
I
need to go. I need to go game there. I so badly got to go. Sorry, we got to go.
Yeah,
gotta go.
We got to go.
Well, I have a question for Michael. You guys have some good pass rushers out there in Atlanta.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
I know what he's asking about. I'm going to let him do it, though. I know it.
I know what he's going to ask, too.
What about Grady Jarrett coming to the Cowboys?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Dude would help us out a lot, give us that extra push we need for the playoffs or, end of season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know he's got familiarity with old Dan Quinn, but I don't know. I sure as heck hope not.
That's fair. He's a good player.
He is our defense, and the reason we do anything on defense, along with Deion Jones. And I mean, for your sake, I would love it. I would love for you to have that guy. But for my sake, I just think that if we're trying to trend in the right direction, that's the one guy you keep and you don't let anyone get their hands on. The guy has performed top 10, if not higher than that, every year he's been in the league, and he's just been a force. And he's one of those guys that is just underappreciated and underrated, I should just say, overall. And the guy just doesn't get. He's not in the. I mean, no one's in the same class as Aaron Donald, but he's not even really mentioned in that like window of players who are that good and that at that position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's one guy Atlanta needs to keep. I know. I mean, they spent all their friggin' money on him, so you might as well keep the dude.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
I figured I'd ask that question.
Yeah.
You transfer those Home Depot bucks to them. You better hope to God that they're getting their money's worth.
No kidding. Yeah, they
not letting them go anywhere.
Yeah, he is our defense for sure. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope to God they don't. But you think the Cowboys? What do you think the Cowboys would be giving up to get that boy?
Even better question.
That's a great question. I honestly have no idea. I don't know what we have in terms of picks. I don't know what we have in terms of depth anywhere else.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of value of a pick he would be anyway. I mean, it's tough, yeah. My gut says a few picks, but I feel like in actuality it'll be like one pick, and it'll be like at best a second round, at worst probably a fourth round, or a few later round picks for someone that like that, I guess. But I don't know.
Maybe
it's so hard to draft value with players and what teams will actually like accept as a trade for someone, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he's been in the league for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. So it's like, is he in his prime still? Is he not? What do you value more with that? So
I mean, 6 is
I mean, I would
generally
say
prime.
he's in his prime right now.
That's
I would.
generally prime.
Yeah, because he's definitely earned his contract, and I mean, he's still producing. It's not like he's. I mean, most of the time with him, it's like the stats don't really show because he's eating up all the offensive linemen, which is, I mean, you can't really discredit him for that, but you know, he's
Yeah.
still producing. You know, it's just not on the stat sheet. Like, oh, you're not performing because you don't have sacks. Because everybody wants sacks. Well, I want sacks too, but you know, the guy's getting double teamed, triple teamed. You know, that's just like Aaron Donald. I mean, he still puts up freaking sacks, unfortunately, but
Only freaks of nature like Aaron Donald.
that's a different animal.
Yes. Only a freak of nature like Aaron Donald can dominate the interior like that.
That is, oh man, I don't know what I would give to have Aaron Donald on my team next to Grady Jarrett. Probably a lot.
I'd name my first kid after him.
Michael gave his home away.
I might give a good amount of first round picks for the next couple years to have him.
I'll trade naming rights. It's fine.
Naming rights. I support.
So in essence, if you guys, I have a question for you guys. Kind of flip this around a little bit on Zach a little bit. So if you guys don't have any other trades you would like to see, I do have a question for you. If you have trades you want to see, speak now.
Well, I not at the moment. Well, no, I'm fine. I think I know what's coming, but I think I'm fine.
You think you know? All right. Well, here's a wild card question for you. So what trade do you not want to see?
Oh, that wasn't what I thought you were gonna ask.
See. For example, I don't think that the Miami Dolphins should trade for Deshaun Watson and then ineffectively trade Tua.
So okay, so I thought you were going to ask about that trade in particular. You wrapped it around to where it was a surprise, followed by, oh, there it is. So, congratulations, you did well. And honestly, if I'm Miami right now, if I'm the fan base of the Dolphins, look at all these red flags, man. Like, come on, don't do this. Don't sucker yourself into this one. You know, don't pull the trigger yet. Let's take a breather. It's only year 2. You know, Tua has been injured most of the season already. He looked okay against Atlanta, sans some bad picks. You know.
Yeah. He hasn't done too bad for you know what's been for what he's done, man. Like he's been hurt a little bit, but I mean he's still been pretty good. What didn't he fire 3 or 4 touchdowns last week?
He had 4 TDs. Dude threw him back into the game against the Falcons. Michael would know he was talking it was a blown lead.
No. This was me. My God.
If you're listening to this, I hope you watch the YouTube version because I thought he had one of those pop out eye things. It's beautiful.
Literally, I feel they live and they die by their quarterback, and like I did not think he was going to throw 4 touchdowns. I mean, I know our defense isn't like the greatest at all, but they're improving. But 4 touchdowns, but the picks are killing him.
Yeah,
absolutely killing him. And I don't know. I think they should part ways with him, kind of like the Josh Rosen. I think they should, yeah. The Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray kind of thing. I mean, it paid off for the Cardinals. Look at them right now.
It's debate time.
Here we go. I went in. I dove in. So I don't know.
Even with the red flags with Watson, though, that's the part that makes me kind of go, really? Even with that?
No. Deshaun Watson should be first and foremost. The Texans organization is pulling a very dirty and dark move by not having him on either the physically unable to perform list or not having him on, or like having him basically, on the commissioner's list. That's where he should be right now. There's no reason that he should technically still be on the active roster, when in reality he's not going to play until he gets this cleared up. And when all this comes out into the air, whether or not it's proven true, it will tarnish him forever. It's never going to go away. The Ben Roethlisberger, accusations, Ray Lewis is one. A lot of other people have gotten remembered for worse, but also for less. So like Roethlisberger, he's still playing, but when do we draw the line? Yeah, you have 22 civil lawsuits against you, and I think it's like 5 or 6 criminal.
I believe it's 5 if memory serves.
Yeah, there's no reason that you should be anywhere near a football field right now. You're off the field antics. It's one of the things about the NFL that I cannot stand is that they will suspend a player, they will kick him out of the league off and on for marijuana or some other thing like that. But yet you have people, for example, there's like the Greg Hardys of it, Deshaun Watson. Ray Rice actually lost his job immediately. You've got the Kareem Hunt incident. They kind of just slap those on the wrist and go about their day. They take it a lot less seriously than they should, and they take it a lot less seriously than marijuana offenses. So it's very interesting to see them do. I mean, they're doing the same thing they've been doing for years. It's the status quo of what the NFL has done.
Oh, yes.
But I also think that if he's got criminal charges against him, then that prosecution, if they start hearing inklings of a trade rumor, they're going to file a motion, and it's going to be like, you cannot leave the state because you are a flight risk.
And that's what's kind of hanging this up for a lot of people, I think, is like, what are the implications of you pulling a trade here? Like, their talk is that, on his face value, he would be eligible to play instantly unless someone interjects. So that, and by interject, that has to be either the commissioner, Roger Goodell himself, steps in, which is possible, but he seemed very mum about the situation right now. Actually, that whole that recent kind of update with the whole Bruce Allen emails investigation and as well as with the football team, along with like other tidbits about the last month or so of the NFL, that was brought up, and they said we haven't put him on there because we haven't gotten enough details to even. I guess legally, it's still kind of its own mess in terms of looking into it and other snags. But I feel like you're going to pull that one thread with this trade that will untangle this entire thing, and then it'll be almost like a domino effect at some it's almost like the Texans are not wanting to do it yet because they're waiting to see what would happen if this did happen, But if nothing happens, the upgrade, I guess, is palpable. But I mean, man, that risk just scares the hell out of me if I was anyone even thinking about it. And the Texans want 3 first-rounders still. They're still holding out that they're going to get 3 first-round picks on this deal.
They'd be lucky to get 1 first-round pick and then maybe a second, because of the fact of the risk is going to outweigh. Right now, I could see it outweighing the reward. Yeah, Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback when he's on. But at the same time, you're going to have a lot of this hanging over your head, especially as an organization. I don't know, man. I would say 3 first-round picks is way too risky for a quarterback who might not be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then what? Miami's up, shit creek without a paddle.
That's true.
Sorry, I had to use that phrase. I didn't know how to make that PG.
See, I think this works out for the Texans overall in any situation you look at, because even to me, I'm like, you should include a deal where, to make it not awkward, you send Tua to Houston and then he plays for Houston, which would be a rebuilding franchise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's enough there that you can argue that he could start a rebuild right there. Tyrod Taylor's there as a backup instantly. Davis Mills, I don't know, insurance, I guess. You know, who?
Yeah.
General Mills, Davis Mills?
General Mills.
He's a famous cereal tycoon, Davis Mills, of the General Mills family.
I think another problem is that I don't know where these rumors started about Deshaun Watson to Miami, but I guarantee you Tua is hearing the noise, man. He can say, oh, it's not a problem. Flores can say, oh, Tua is our quarterback. But at the end of the day, they have no final say in this. It's all the general manager. It's all the owner. It's one thing because I think Tua is better than what we've seen so far. And we've seen the glimpses of how good he can be. Yeah, his interceptions need to go down. 2-3 years in the league, that's about the time where he should start figuring it out. I wouldn't want to send him to Houston, man. It's basically just condemning his career to death at this point because rebuilding that by the time he gets fully back up and operational, Tua is outside of his prime of his career, and at least on the back half.
But is that like damning him to like the outer realm or like the shadow, kind of like a shadow realmy thing? Like how, I don't know. I was trying to make some funny comparison that compares him to like Jared Goff going to Detroit, where you're just like, yeah, you know what? It was fun, but now we just want to forget about you. And so you like send him off to like one of the worst possible places you can go.
I think that's what it would feel like. Yeah, I think that's what it would feel like. I think one of the 3 worst places I would want to go would be Detroit, New York Jets, and the Houston Texans. Cooks is set to, I believe Cooks is set to be a free agent this year. Could be wrong on that. So you say he leaves, say he's gone. What do you have left? Who is left to throw the ball to in Houston once Brandin Cooks is gone? David Johnson in the backfield?
Dude, he ain't gonna be around after this year either.
Exactly. So like you've got you're basically saying, all right, we're gonna rebuild from scratch again with a different team. I think Flores going to bat for Tua is a fantastic move on Flores' part because I think he truly believes in Tua. Tua is a better quarterback than what we're seeing so far. I wouldn't want him to go to Houston and just have his career die. I want to see him content. He was in one of the toughest divisions. I mean, the AFC East was, it was Brady's division. Josh Allen's up there now. Minus the Jets, who are, they're always going to be the Jets. But
right.
I think he's in a tough division now. He'd be going to, one could say, a slightly lesser tough division, with, you got 2 top clear teams and 2 bottom clear teams. I don't know. I'd rather see him go somewhere where they can actually utilize him because, especially with nowadays with the run pass options, those quarterbacks, not a lot of quarterbacks can still do that properly and do it well. So I think Tua is one of those that can.
I think for same reason, definitely. Well, and he's also, I like that Michael brought up the Josh Rosen comparison because that's kind of what's been, I think, talked around is we're already in, I believe this is only his 2nd year, and we're already getting talks of like, well, it's time to hit the dusty trail, and we're all sitting around like, wait a minute, what did he do wrong? Like Josh Rosen, I can completely understand. The dude talked himself into a corner. He looked awful. Kyler Murray showed up, and the attitude drove him out of town even before he ever stepped into Tempe, Arizona. So, like, I get that. Scottsdale? Scottsdale.
Scottsdale.
Yeah. Okay. Not crazy.
One of them dang.
One of those towns in Arizona, those things.
Something. I mean, it's outside Phoenix. It's outside Phoenix. Okay.
You realize there's a lot of cities and towns outside of Phoenix, right?
There are. I mean, really, Indianapolis is
tattooed on my arm,
man. Talk about your definition of outside. All 3 of us are outside of Phoenix in some way.
Accurate statement.
Very vague, accurate statement.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy. I'm okay. I know Tempe's. It's Scottsdale. I know Tempe sounded wrong from the beginning, although they used to play in Tempe. So,
that's true.
Fair. That's fair. You know what? I'll give you that one.
I don't know. Random fact pulled out, but Josh Rosen comparison, like I just find that funny. Like Tua hasn't talked himself into a corner. The guy just played shakily year 1, and everyone instantly went, all right, it's time to go. That that fractured hip. Yeah, dislocated hip. That dislocated hip. Yep. That's the nail in the coffin. You know, we knew all along it was going to affect him. He wasn't going to be good. You know, it's time to move on, get a new quarterback already. And then there's some other talks I've heard that like Brian Flores didn't want Tua or something like that. I don't know if that's actually true, but you know, that's been passed around recently as well. It's like everyone wants him out of Miami. I'm not understanding fully why, because rookies to me get a year pass in their first year. Even like Josh Rosen with how he talked himself out of town. I even thought that was dirty that they just were like, yep, goodbye. See you later, buddy.
See you, bud.
But that's what they did.
Yeah, I feel like I know I said that they should part ways with him, but I mean, I guess at least let him run the rookie or not the rookie contract. I would say if you're not going to give up on him, I would let him play out his rookie contract. I don't know if I would pick up his option, but I mean, it's so tough. I feel like Miami has more issues than just quarterback too, because it seems like they're going to lose Xavier Howard to some like a Minnesota, like because Patrick Peterson's out. So it's like, do you value your quarterback more or do you value your defense? And I don't know about you, but Brian Flores seems like a defensive-minded head coach. So
sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the future doesn't look promising for Miami. I'll leave it at that. But I will say I don't think Tua is a long-term answer. I feel like we should know something by now with him, and it doesn't seem like it's trending in the right direction for him. I don't know. Maybe it's just the offense that's being run, but I don't know. I'm for him. I would love to see him succeed because not a lot of I feel like left-handed quarterbacks get a lot of flack for the way they play. I mean, usually they're run style quarterback and they just don't have that natural throwing arm like a right-handed does, like, you know, but not that any of that matters at all, but you know,
I mean, you guys drafted one of the more famous ones anyway, you know,
right. Yeah.
So got to keep that in mind.
That's right. So, I mean, I don't know. I hope he does succeed because he was so highly respected and was so integral at Alabama and what he did for that university and overcoming those times with Jalen Hurts in the national championship game. And, you know, I mean, I don't know, the Alabama quarterback thing too. It's like, I hope he succeeds. Like he seems like a good guy and he says all the right things, and for him to just his career to not go right or to go to Houston, that would
go to Houston.
Yeah, that would not be good. Like I would not support that. Like that would suck.
Yeah.
So I hope he does stay, but I just don't think he is the long-term answer. I know that kind of sounds like I'm all over the place. It's because I am probably, but
because I am, man.
Because I am. Yeah.
Just outing myself. No, don't mind me.
I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point, but yeah.
It's one of those things, man. I get it from that side too. Is that, you know, you can see where he gets shipped off because of the regime, and then, you know, you want him to go someplace where he's appreciated. So
absolutely. Oh yeah.
The same thing with Allen Robinson. You want him to go someplace where he's going to be appreciated and utilized.
Absolutely. I completely relate to that. You know, I would like to see that. I mean, hey, you have a fan base that seems rebelling against a quarterback you drafted in the first round. Like, it seems like to me that's a red flag. Maybe the fans are thinking of this completely wrong. I don't know. You know, give the guy the rest of the second year before you then make a judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's funny too. You mentioned the fans. It's very the loudest fans will always make the most noise. And what I mean by that is that if you have 20 people saying, "Oh, Tua's washed up, we need to trade him," happy trails, they're going to be saying it louder than the 40. They're going to be like, "Oh no, let's keep him because he's more beneficial." He's the best quarterback they've had basically since Dan Marino. I mean, Tannehill did okay, Fitzpatrick did all right, but let's be honest here. Who else are we going to put up there besides, Dan the man?
Well, yeah.
We're not going to put Chad Henne up there, that's for sure.
What about old Jay Cutler?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
Okay, man.
Come on. I wasn't wanting that one mentioned.
I'm just kidding.
Although it's funny, I joke about hearing the name, but he is the best quarterback the Bears have had statistically. So,
that's a very interesting statement too, because you look at a lot of the teams and you've got for example, statistically, Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback Cleveland's ever had.
Yeah. Jay
Cutler's the best that Chicago's ever had, and you're sitting there going, it's weird. I think it's weirder to me because of the fact that of who my team is, and I think that's why where my brain doesn't make the connection fully, because we've had Staubach, we've had Aikman. I mean, even Romo was a actually statistically good quarterback. Now we've got Dak. It's one of those things where, that's to me, it's all right, the next guy should be the best one that you have. But then when you think all right, Baker's been the best that the Browns have ever had, you're like, oh,
crap.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not really wrong. The only other one that comes off the mind with the Browns for me is Bernie Kosar or something like that. Just
yeah. Bernie's just beloved in Cleveland. I mean,
that's kind of it too. Is but that's the same stigma where if you don't really know deeper into Bear statistics or how players were. Jim McMahon, casual fans think Jim McMahon's the greatest quarterback the Bears have ever had, when in reality it's, Sid Luckman actually, or really Sid Luckman or Jay Cutler, in terms of production. So, McMahon's just loved because they had the 85 championship and he had all that swagger.
Swagger.
The Super Bowl shuffle, man.
Mm-hmm. It was just, looking like Zach Wilson before it was, Zach Wilson rocking that look.
That's right.
Or if in reality, Zach Wilson's rocking the Jim McMahon look. That's what's really happening.
That's right.
That's all that is.
I have something for you.
Okay.
How do we feel about 49ers parting ways with Jimmy G?
I would hope so.
Question is
honestly,
when?
Now, trade deadline, let Jimmy G go.
Trey Lance is healthy. I like the move, honestly. He wants to be. They want to have a more mobile quarterback that can move around and throw on the run and all this other stuff. And Jimmy G can't do that.
Better situation to develop than Justin Fields is in right now. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least I think, in terms of the line in front of you and who's coaching, I'm going to say yes. That's a better spot to be in if you're throwing a rookie in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I only say that because it doesn't seem like the 49ers are really clicking, which was my pick to win the division, which looks really bad on me. But let's just edit that part out.
Let's keep that part in.
You'll edit that out later, and
I totally will edit that out. I'm not going to edit that out.
I'm not doing it. But I mean, they don't. It doesn't seem like their offense is really clicking. They're I don't know what place they're in the division. I think they're third or fourth, but they're slipping away in the division. So I mean, do you give those reps to Trey Lance now? Do you let him go? Do you keep him? I don't know. In his development, I feel like they should know what Jimmy G is going to be. And I feel like they're beating around the bush with it. Not that he's not formidable, but I feel like it's gone on too long, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. It's just I don't know. I feel like you should know what he is now. I mean, other than the injuries, you know.
Yeah.
It really makes you think that Jimmy G was definitely a product of the Belichick system.
I think somewhat. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, hot take.
I mean, hey, could be wrong. Like Josh McDaniels does make people look good. Like I'll give him credit. Terrible head coach, but a really good coordinator for the like. Dude benefits as a coordinator and working at his craft, not managing a football team. We can recircle back to how Jay Cutler got to Chicago. You know, if you ever want to figure out why we're saying that. So, you know, also because he bailed on the Colts. Same. You know, if we want to talk about that too.
Honestly, that's probably
the least famous version of what Belichick did a decade plus prior.
Yeah. Some people just aren't head coaches. That's all.
No, they're not. Josh McDaniels is definitely not one. But you know, Jimmy Graham, I mean, I call serviceable. Definitely a fill-in, a plug-and-play, if you will. Stabilizer, if you really need someone like that. So you could take a flyer and do it for a year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see a problem with it. Yeah.
I think he could he'd be all right if, I mean, not throwing him to Houston, but I feel like he would be okay in Houston. Like trying to kickstart them back up. Like, I mean, they don't really have a clear answer in there, you know. I mean, at least it's someone who has really good experience, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing everybody at Houston now to die.
They
need someone. Like, I think that's why I think, like, if for some reason the Watson trade happened, like, Tua is that building block, in my opinion, but Jimmy G would just be another stopgap. You know, to me, you're better off just keeping Tyrod Taylor at that point, you know, because both of them get injury issues or woes. You're expecting that at some point in their season. So to me, Taylor has the upside because he's a safer QB and he still is mobile. You know, when he doesn't pull a hamstring on a run, that was
just pull hammy.
Yeah, doesn't pull a hammy while running. You know, I still think it could have beat Cleveland in that game if he, you know, doesn't go out with a hamstring injury. Just saying.
Hot take.
Yeah, I'm looking for him to come back. By the way, like Davis Mills has made that boring. Like Tyrod Taylor was making Houston look exciting. I'm waiting for him to come back and make things fun out there for the remainder of the year.
Make Houston fun again.
Make Houston fun again. Make Houston approachable again. Make Houston respectable somehow again.
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing themselves any favors right now. That's for sure.
Like anything to move the needle in the right direction would be nice. You know, the fact that they have a win, okay, you know, that's part of it.
Okay, moving on.
They have a win. All right,
we did it. Yeah, that kind of makes me wonder what they're gonna do with their draft pick too. That's always on my mind for some reason. But like they have so many issues. You can't solve them all in draft clearly, but it makes me wonder what they're gonna do because they're probably, I would say they would, if they stop winning, which they don't really have to try that hard to, I don't know what direction they're going to go in, what they're going to value quarterback, if there even is one worthy of a top 3 pick, which I don't know about this draft, if there's going to be one that's that worthy of a pick, but, or if they value deep, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of holes.
Yeah,
so.
that's a unit that's trying to stockpile as much as they can, which is why, like, you know, they should be selling if they can anything.
Yeah,
you know, give anything away right now.
Yeah.
You know, not even just Deshaun Watson, like just, you know, David Johnson gone, Brandin Cooks sadly gone. You know, those guys go to places. Mark Ingram, hey, he left. You know, they sent him to New Orleans, so you know, that happened too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let me think. There was one other one that I was thinking would be a good one that I'd want to see happen. And I am spacing on it hard right now.
I'd like to see the Chiefs do something.
That was the one, and that was because it's being talked about right now. Melvin Ingram. How the Chiefs want Melvin Ingram, but the Pittsburgh Steelers don't want to trade him to an AFC team.
That's fair.
Well, they can trade him right to the Cowboys. That's where they can throw him.
Well,
they could.
Problem.
Jerry's just got to get on the phone.
That's all.
Go talk with Art Rooney there.
Yeah.
Is that all it takes?
I mean, I think so.
Sounds about
right. Yeah, Michael's right. That's about it.
I mean, they are good buddies already, right?
But here's the thing. Here's for me, like the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs are so desperate to get out of this rut. Like, how much are you going to give up to get Melvin Ingram? I mean, and we're also talking Melvin Ingram that years of injury. I mean, they're trying to put him on a trade block. So obviously that tells you a little bit right now of what they don't need. And he's not producing like they wanted. So,
or maybe they can get like a Trey Flowers or a Emmanuel Agba or something.
Even like Trey Flowers isn't really doing much. And that's a bloated contract now.
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer Agba over Flowers right now. At least Agba's doing something like formidable. Like
Agba.
He's doing he's doing very well. I mean, just watching him in that game last week against Atlanta with my I mean, I didn't not see the guy on every defensive snap. The guy is everywhere. And
he haunts my dreams.
If they're desperate, they need defense bad. They are not the team they once were. And it would be criminal if the Chiefs are kind of going down the line of a Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers situation where they just get a ring and then they're kind of content with that and they have their superstar quarterback and they just kind of ride down the line and everyone just kind of
for all the money they put in, that'd be so asinine if that's how this turns out too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the talk right now is of course that teams have figured them out. They know how to rattle everyone and get Mahomes out of his comfort zone and you know, or Mahomes is being too much trying to play too much hero ball. That's the other thing I keep hearing. You know, it's always looking for that ridiculous play or the kill shot.
Yeah,
when they're not always there. You know.
Yeah, I'm. Part of me says that offense is a problem too. I mean, weird for me to say, but it's none of the skilled players. It's the line, and they don't have the greatest of running game.
No, Edwards-Helaire being out is actually a huge hit to them, more so than people realize.
Yeah.
How
about a Marlon Mack down there, huh? That doesn't sound too bad.
I wouldn't mind.
I was thinking that too.
That doesn't sound too bad now, does it?
That's a good suggestion.
I mean, hey, I'm here.
Sign me the hell up, man. Come on.
Yeah, for real.
I'm sure there and get yourself some good barbecue.
But see, here's the thing, though, too, is that Edwards-Helaire is eligible to return next week. Sure. So
then you get the stockpile there, and then you
could be a late season surge.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, could always use more running backs. Never ever know.
Edwards-Helaire was the missing piece all along. His absence totally derailed everything. He's going to come back. That's the whole solution.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah. That O-line is completely from last year. They lost.
They stripped it apart, man. They really did.
They did. And I mean, they drafted a guy I really like, Trey Smith from Tennessee, who's actually doing not too bad. But I don't know, maybe it's just Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher were just the real deal, and now they lost them, and Mahomes don't know what to do now. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's not like they don't have anybody there. They have Joe Tooney there, and who else did they get? I'm blanking on a name, but they got him. They got the other guy in the offseason too, and like it's not like they didn't address the need in free agency. They did, and then they paid big bucks for it. Like,
Joe Looney was a good player for the boys, man. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on in Kansas City.
I don't know.
The magic went away when he went away from the Star.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Hopefully they do something because I think they're in third. Are they in fourth place?
They would be in third right now. Yeah. Because Denver, I believe, is at that fourth spot in the AFC West.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. They're falling apart.
Mm.
They're falling.
It's still ugly. I mean, that was a beat down. The Titans just you held them 3 points.
Yeah,
there's not much more you got to say there.
Mm-hmm.
Snuffed them out.
Yeah, that was. I mean, turnovers during that game were not. They weren't Patrick Mahomes. Let's just throw that out there. That's not him, and I don't know what's going on if the Titans are just that good or they're Kansas City got a lot of questions right now. I don't know.
Who are you and what spirits possessed your body, good sir?
With the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kansas City and Denver both 3-4. Both have there's probably the tiebreaker at some point there, head to head. But I mean, like if you really look at it, I mean, it's the same thing all around. I mean, the toughest division right now, just from looking at it at a glance, is the AFC North and the NFC South, technically, depending on like the records of the teams. I mean, if you look at it, so you've got the AFC East has, you know, Buffalo at 4-2, New England at 3-4. New York and Miami have one win. You know, they have 2 wins combined. You know, AFC North 5-2, 5-2, 4-3, 3-3. You've got teams that are 500 or above in the AFC North. AFC South, it's basically the Titans at 5-2, and then it's Indianapolis at 3-4, and then we've got the dumpster fire that is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans.
Can't help it, they suck.
Can't they? AFC West 5-2, Las Vegas 4-2, Chargers 3-4, Kansas City 3-4, Denver. I mean, even again, the NFC East, yeah, they're still pretty bad. I mean, you got 5-1 Dallas, and then you got 2-5 across the board for the remaining 3 teams. They're all 2-5. NFC North 6-1 Packers, 3-3, 3-4, 0-7. NFC South 6-1, 4-2, 3-3, 3-4. NFC West 7-0, 6-1, 2-4, 2-5. It's amazing to see that, you know, the Chiefs the Chiefs may be third in their division, but
they could still win their division.
They could still win their division. They arguably have the toughest road to them, and the AFC North have the 2 toughest roads to win their divisions. And the fact that Cincinnati is sitting at 5-2 in the AFC North, leading the division, is something none of us called at the beginning of the season. We all were talking about how this is the Ravens versus the Browns, and that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold my beer.
Well,
Bengals literally went like,
incredible.
Cheers,
that is incredible. You know what's even more incredible though is that the Bengals are one of the top 5 lowest selling teams with attendance right now. Yep. They actually got a notice from the NFL for poor attendance and are being warned about penalties if they don't start advertising better. Wow. And we're talking like they're in the ranks of like, now credit recent years, I'll understand. And maybe this is just kind of artifacting of that, but like they're in the ranks of like the Jacksonville Jaguars and this type of stuff, the Houston Texans, the Lions actually have been doing
probably better.
Okay, but still they're lower because of, you know, bad teams. Somehow the Bengals are still not selling as well.
Yeah, that's
weird. I don't think the fans thought that the Bengals would be doing this well this season. I think it's one of those things where I mean I know next week, you know, week 9 they'll have at least 4 extra people from Cleveland showing up because me, my roommates, and Maggie will all be down there for the game. But I don't think they anticipated it. I don't think Cincinnati the fan base was like, oh, we're actually going to be good, because they're so used to this mediocrity to heartbreak that they like, oh, I'm not going to bother buying tickets. No, I'm not going to do that. Now they're leading the division. I would say watch that change, especially come week 9. Watch that change 100%.
Yeah.
Whether it's Cleveland fans or Cincy fans, attendance will go up next week.
That should be a good
that
one.
Crowded division. I know we're just kind of going all over the place.
Oh, but that's fine. Yeah, this is what I expect when we come into these shows.
I know.
So.
It's just because you said Cleveland.
Yeah. Now, got my first exposure to the city 2 weeks ago. So
very nice.
2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. That's the surprising thing. Yeah.
Do we think Cleveland is going to make the playoffs? Yes or no?
Ooh, man. You know what? That's tough. I'm going to revisit the schedule that they have, which is already brutal, by the way. And I'm going to have to make that prediction, which
going off of standings alone, because that's what's up in front of my face, and not going off of their schedule.
I'm saying
which,
no.
From what I've heard, they've had the 9th hardest schedule in the league. I'm going with yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So your thought is they get healthy and they just start ransacking through games and get wild card?
Well, yeah, it'd be a wild card, because I'm looking at it. I was like, Cincinnati and Baltimore are looking like they're going to fight this out for the division. So you got at least 2 teams there guaranteed. Buffalo for sure. Tennessee's up there. Las Vegas Chargers. Yeah, we're looking at 6 or 7 seed for the Browns.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if it'll be tough.
It's a tough road, but
with those injuries too, they're.
So this is also implying that the Chiefs fall off and miss the playoffs then.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That is a hot take if I ever heard it.
Ooh.
Even with
somebody's
the low,
gonna say it this season.
Even with the low, good sir. That's a hard one for me to swallow,
season, man.
I don't know if I see the. Oof.
That is
because
a tough pill.
Either the Chiefs are gonna make a run, and either Vegas or the LA is gonna miss out, or because we know New England isn't gonna probably make it for the AFC East. There's probably, I would say, the AFC West and the AFC North have had the best odds to have 3 teams in the postseason.
Sure.
That because the AFC South is going to have 1 team and 1 team alone. It's probably going to be the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking that way.
I think you're right, unless the Colts get a win this weekend and kind of split that series, then maybe, just maybe. But if the Tennessee Titans sweep the Colts this weekend, then we're just going to call that one a done turkey, and we don't have to worry about the South at that point, barring collapse or Derrick Henry getting a season-ending injury or something like that.
Don't say that. I just traded for him in fantasy.
Oh, did you get him?
I got Derrick Henry. I had to give up.
Who the hell traded Derrick Henry to you?
A guy that's 1-5. He traded. So I got Derrick Henry. I traded away Terry McLaurin, James Robinson, and Tyler Higbee. Because those are 3 areas he needed to address. I replaced his running back with somebody a lot less. Like, I would say James Robinson's a workhorse in Jacksonville. He's going to get the touches. 2, I gave him a wide receiver 1 in Terry McLaurin. And then I gave him Tyler Higbee because he didn't have a tight end.
Released him.
Wow.
And I got Derrick Henry. So,
I mean, when you have that many holes, I guess that is a proper, fair trade.
Those are all 3 guys. I mean, not saying Scary Terry's not going to get the ball, but not that I don't believe in Taylor Heineke, but I don't believe in that team.
Yeah, but who else is Heineke going to throw it to? I mean, there's nobody really left there. I mean, he's gonna garner all the targets.
Terry's down there somewhere. I mean, that's what's gonna happen.
Let me just throw it up. Terry's over there.
That's how this works, man.
That's right.
I think he's down there.
Oh, he's running
a 7.
He's running a 9. All right.
Yeah.
McLaurin wears a 7. Yeah, it's 7. He's 17.
It's someone on defense with a single-digit number 7.
Oh hell. Oh, the NFL single digit changes got me again.
So, hey, I used the Yahoo evaluator of trade, and according to the trade, I'm actually going to average minus 10 points per week, after making that trade. So we'll see if it pays off for me. It pays off for me. I needed to make a move. I'm sitting there at the number 4 seed now in our league, Zach, and I needed to make a big move. So
yeah,
he posted about how he was putting Derrick Henry up on the block, and he originally wanted DeAndre Hopkins, Darrell Henderson, and Tyler Higbee, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a little overkill.
That's a lot. That's a lot for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, like Darrell Henderson alone, it's like, okay, dude's number 1 in LA and is actually putting up solid numbers. Yeah, we can't do that.
No.
that ain't gonna work.
So I made the trade, which I thought benefited most of us, and it's a fair. I mean, if anything, it gives him more points per week. I mean, I have Dalton Schultz, so we have no guarantee Dalton Schultz is going to do well, especially with Michael Gallup coming back. So,
yep.
Here we go. So I got to make that second half push. Got to get up in that playoffs.
Damn right.
Wow.
Michael, are you a trade guy? I'm not a trade guy. Like, I've talked with Tony about this. I'm not really a trade guy of fantasy. I'm very much a stickler of my roster. I'm a waiver wire freak.
I tried to trade with Zach earlier, and he said no. It was no negotiation. No.
I'm a fiend on the waiver wire. I just trades. I always I stop and I go,
that would never happen.
Click no.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. When I don't play it anymore, but I would ride the waiver wire for sure. 'Cause usually every time you'd make a trade, it would never fail to get vetoed, and you'd just be wasting your time, and you might as well just ride the waiver wire and see what you can get.
So Zach says that he's a waiver wire fiend. I want to point out he has 9 total moves, and we are in week 8. The highest person is actually me at 31.
Well, no, it also depends. It also depends, by the way, on what I think of my roster. This one I think is fine. It's just it's underperformed in certain weeks. I'm sitting at 4-3, so you win some, you lose some. The
good part is well, no, you don't have your backup. Saquon might not be going this week, buddy. So you might need to plug in Darrell Williams and then throw in Sterling Shepard in your flex.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound.
Like that.
Surprisingly, though, Shepard was producing before injury.
He was.
Fair enough.
He was.
I did get burned last week because I did put him in and he sat. And so 2 of my rosters I lost because Sterling Shepard's chilling there. And while I'm on vacation, I go back and I look and go, oh, yeah.
You also have 3 tight ends. So.
Oh, which league? Are you talking in Sleeper?
No, I'm talking in Yahoo for the Fantasy Field of Dreams. You've got Kyle Pitts, Rob Gronkowski, and Ricky Seals-Jones.
Oh, I had a strategy for that, though.
Were you going to trade one of them? Because,
hell no. All 3 of them are doing well. And actually, my strategy is once Gronk's healthy, I put at least one of them in the tight end position, and then Pitts is either flex or the tight end. I start 2 tight ends because they're that valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. Both of them are putting up numbers.
I understand that. I do. I fully understand that, and I get where you're coming from. I just look at it and I'm like, that's too many tight ends for me, man.
Yeah.
Our sleeper league, I've got 1.
This is what I call gaming the system, though. I'm stockpiling, man.
You stockpile the tight end so that nobody else.
Look, at least I don't have 3 QBs on the roster. I have a buddy that did that 2 years ago, and I went, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah, that's just not ideal.
Yeah,
it is unheard of, though, so it's fair.
You also vultured that Cincinnati defense out from underneath me, so
that is the most consistent thing you'll see me do with waivers. Is I vulture defenses almost.
You stream the defense, baby. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all about.
That's right.
Unless I'm landing.
Realize they were getting a fantasy football talk too. Surprise.
Hey, I'm unless I'm landing like something like Baltimore sometimes, but like even then, like, I don't want to give up points every week. And there's always ones that'll show up where it's like you got the weak team that a defense is going to get its day. So why not?
That's
Pick
right.
them up.
Yeah, my favorite is I used to thought whoever's playing Houston or Jacksonville or the Jets would be the ones I wanted to play, and then apparently it's whoever's playing Chicago is who I want to play.
Hey,
Oh,
there you go. That's a smart man. One of my 8 leagues, I got the 49ers playing this week. So I know I shouldn't have said that.
I forgot you had 8. I'm so sorry.
I have 8. And I gladly every Tuesday go through the waivers, and every Wednesday I check if I got screwed over in one, which usually it happens because there's no way in hell I get all my waiver picks in 8 leagues. But sometimes I get lucky, and most of them I'm like I landed. So
well, I'm always the 12th in our league, so for trying to get waivers, so I'm always 12th priority. So there's a good chance I don't get them.
Mr. drafts well and doesn't need to worry about waivers that much.
Oh no, I draft well.
Or wait, are you talking like 12 of 12 as in like lowest?
Oh, I'm the lowest, man. I'm the lowest.
Mr. I botched it.
Mr. I thought I did well, and then there's some other guys that I'm like, well, you're not doing great like you were supposed to, so I'm gonna drop you. Oh wait, you're gonna do well the next week, so like I guess I'll pick you back up.
Are you really a genius? No.
There have been mistakes made. There was one league where in my it's actually my softball crew that we made a fantasy football league this year, and I dropped James Conner and James Robinson, and that was week 3, and then James Robinson went off, and here I am without a solid number 2, number 3 running back.
You didn't sit on it, man.
I got impatient. I'm sorry.
You're like, I like money in your pocket.
Like my guy, you think
I get rid of it.
I'm like Drake out here. I got money to blow, man.
My guy, you think Travis Etienne's gonna come out of nowhere off IR?
That was my favorite pick in our sleeper draft, was the fact that some guy drafted Travis Etienne, and I was like,
I'm the same.
I was like, who's gonna tell him?
Who's that? Who wants to be that guy?
So, anyways,
we're gonna wrap this up before it gets even more off the rails, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. If you want to keep tuning into these episodes, Zach Tony and Grimbo Show is bi-weekly for Gridiron Gallery during the NFL season. So we'll be back during week 10 of the NFL calendar. So a few weeks from now. Follow up with us on social media at Grid Gallery Pod. Again, that's at Grid Gallery Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you want to keep up. We dropped the video versions of the show, which if you didn't get that hint listening to this on the podcast, well, hey, we do this via video, so you might miss a few things. Go check out our YouTube page and subscribe. Check it out. Drop a like on this video as well, and help promote the show a little bit too. And then go and follow these guys on their socials. You got Michael over there, chilling on Instagram, doing his thing, not interacting on Twitter at all.
That burner account probably.
Wears a Dirty Bird hat, but can't get the other Bird app.
It's only right, Mike. And another message to everybody listening: go check out Zach's other episodes too. You actually learn a lot about different football organizations and leagues that you might not know about. So those are huge. It's definitely a different twist, and you get to learn more about football, especially overseas.
It's all about the ELF and the USFL. Coming back. USFL, baby. Birmingham, Alabama. Coming this spring, April, on Fox. And I'm not joking. That's actually some of the details. So, primer.
That's right.
I'm serious. By the way, go follow Tony. By the way, he's on Twitter at Tony Stenulson, and he's also on Instagram at StenuelBridge58.
I think it's just Stenio Bridge. I'm honestly not sure. I don't check that. I'm really bad about that. Hang on.
Do this every 2 weeks, and both of us are now effing it up.
Oh, it's just at Stenio Bridge. STENULBRIDGE. There's no 5'8". I think I used to have that, but that also might have been a Twitter handle in the past. Yeah, go check those out. You'll get to see pictures of basically me and my girlfriend. You get to see our annual pumpkin carving, to where I made a cannibal pumpkin. And then just a lot of things. Actually, it's more personalized to where you actually get a glimpse into my life. So if you care about that, go follow me on Instagram.
Fair. You should do that.
Let's go.
All of us do. You should follow him too. All right, folks. Until next time, stay tuned, everybody. Have a happy Halloween. It's funny. It's kind of a Halloween episode too. Go figure as we're recording. And don't be better than people that are posting commercials like Kroger that are doing holiday ads already. Shame on you folks out there that are already doing that. I shun you.
That's scary.
I shun you people. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time. The Gridiron Gallery Podcast. New episodes every Friday on your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and premiering first, as always, at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, only on UnhingedSN.com.